Hi everybody, welcome back to Sunshine Soap and Candle Company. Today I'm going to be sharing with you how to make a luxurious creamy body wash holiday edition. I don't know about you, but I love incorporating the seasonal smells into my cosmetics and my soaps, my body washes, lotions, and sprays. This time of year is always so fun for me because they are my favorite types of fragrances. So I'm really excited to be sharing this very gentle and creamy body wash. There's a lot of natural ingredients incorporated into this body wash, so I'm really excited to be sharing it with you today. In this video today, I'm going to be going over my visual step-by-step process and tutorial of how to put together this amazing body wash. And if you would like to recreate it yourself, please head on over to my Patreon campaign where this recipe will be posted at the $5 level. Each of my formulas comes with the amount and the percentage on each ingredient, so you can scale your recipes up or down as you like. The PDFs are printable. They come with a step-by-step written tutorial, and also you have the ability to ask me questions if you want over there regarding any of the formulas that I have posted. There's so much to take advantage of. I do post weekly, sometimes twice weekly recipes and tutorials. There's hundreds to take advantage of over there. We've built a great community. I hope you'll come and join. Again, I'm going to place the link in the description box below for you. There's just a ton to take a look at and take advantage of. All right, let's get started. All right, so I was inspired to create this formula based on some new ingredients that Brambleberry is starting to carry on their website. About a month ago, I was over there shopping and I saw that they are now starting to carry some solid surfactants and gentle solid surfactants and also a natural pearlizer. So we're going to be incorporating both of those ingredients into this formula today, and the result is wonderful. So we're going to break this up into a phase A, a phase B, and then we're going to put everything together. This has potential to be kind of a complicated formula, but not really if you just break it down into the steps I'm going to show you. So, and I'll explain as we go along what we're doing. The first thing we're going to do is go ahead and weigh off our surfactants. The surfactants are going to be the bubbling and foaming agent of this formula. So this is what's going to create the cleansing properties and also the bubbles. So the first surfactant we're going to be weighing off is my favorite liquid surfactant, Cocamidopropyl betaine. And this is a plant-based surfactant. It's amphoteric. That means it will bind with any other surfactant that you combine with it. So because it can attach to both positive and negative charges. So this is one of my favorite. It's super gentle. It's plant-based. So we're going to go ahead and add in our Cocamidopropyl betaine, also known as cocoa betaine. You can use this in shampoos, body washes, facial washes. It's super versatile, very gentle. All right, the next surfactant we're going to be adding in is the new one that I purchased from Brambleberry. It's called Gentle Foaming Flakes, SLMI. And that stands for sodium lauryl methyl isothianate. It's an anionic surfactant. It comes in this solid flake form. It dissolves in water. And the great thing about this one is you don't have to wear a dust mask or a respirator to work with this. It doesn't have any like airborne particles that will irritate your airways. So that's also a plus. You can use this as a primary surfactant in any of your like shower gels or shampoos, or secondary, as we're doing here. But it's a gorgeous, gentle, solid surfactant. We're going to go ahead and add in our SLMI. And then we're going to be adding in one more surfactant here. This is a very luxurious liquid surfactant. It's called Foaming Silk. And of course it does have silk in it. And so this makes your lather very gentle and silky feeling. It's got a very good silky skin feel to it. So we're going to be adding in some Foaming Silk. All of these combine to make for a gorgeous lather. gentle and silky feeling. Really, really nice. So we're going to also be adding in our watery ingredients directly to this. This will dissolve, the solid flakes will dissolve in water. However, I find the process is a little quicker if you apply some heat. So we're going to be adding in some of our watery ingredients into this beaker as well. And then we're going to be applying heat or putting into a hot water bath. So most of the time I'll weigh off my surfactants and my water separate. In this case, we're going to be combining them into the same beaker. So this is all of our phase A ingredients. So we're going to be adding in some distilled water. And as you can see, the water mixing with the surfactants is already causing some bubbles. I'm just going to hit that with a little bit of rubbing alcohol and get those out of the way. And then we're going to be adding in another ingredient called Aquaxyl. Aquaxyl can be used in shampoos and conditioners and also body washes. This is from Formulator Sample Shop. Aquaxyl acts as a moisturizing and restructuring agent. So it helps you retain moisture into your skin. It strengthens the barrier function. It increases water reserves, including hyaluronic acid synthesis. So it optimizes the sensory profile of foaming formulas and improves their tolerance. This is a nice ingredient to add, again, giving it a nice skin feel, nice and hydrating. So we're going to go ahead and add our Aquaxyl. I got this from Formulator Sample Shop. It's got kind of a thick, almost like glycerin-like feel to it. Next, we're going to be adding in an ingredient called Lamesoft Pro. It's cocoa glucoside. This is also considered a surfactant, but we use it as a refatting agent. It's cocoa glucoside and glycerol oleate. It just adds a really nice, rich feeling to shampoos and body washes. So we're going to be adding in some Lamesoft Pro. I got this one from Voyager Soap and Candle. Again, it's a mixture of cocoa glucoside and glycerol oleate. This is also a very thick and viscous type product, adding in some lovely refatting. Sometimes surfactant systems can be a little bit drying, but we're adding in some beautiful refatting agents. And also we're going to be adding in some oil to make it a creamy body wash. The last thing we're going to be adding to this phase A beaker is some liquid silk. Liquid silk, I also got this from Brambleberry, and this is going to just add, again, a really nice and silky feeling to your body wash. We're going for luxury here. This is a beautiful formula. If you didn't want to use this liquid silk, you could replace this with any water-soluble botanical extract. All right, I'm going to go ahead and place my phase A beaker aside. Then I'm going to weigh off the ingredients in my phase B. Now, these are ingredients that need to be melted down, some of them. But again, the end result is really, really nice. So the first thing we're going to be weighing off is the Pearlizer I was talking to you about at the beginning of the video. This is considered a natural pearlizer and thickener. This is also by Brambleberry. And what this is going to do is add a little bit of thickness to the body wash. We are going to add some additional thickness at the end, but this will add a little bit of thickness, but it's going to give your body wash a beautiful creamy appearance. It almost looks lotion-like when the whole thing is done. It's really, really beautiful, and you kind of get a little bit of a pearlescent effect. This has really nice skin conditioning properties as well, making your body wash, again, just very luxurious, creamy, and beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and add in our Pearlizer. You can use this in other formulas as a stearic acid replacement. So next up is going to be our oil. So we're going to be melting down some jojoba oil with this. And again, this has to be melted down with other oil. So this is why we're adding, this beaker is going to be just kind of like an oil phase beaker, and everything's going to be melted down with the Pearlizer. All right, so in goes my jojoba oil. Jojoba oil is really close to our own skin. It's considered an oil balancer. It just absorbs rapidly into your skin, and it doesn't feel greasy or heavy at all. Okay. Next to this Phase B beaker, this is going to sound a little bit weird, but we're adding in the fragrance oil as well. The reason why we're doing this, typically I wouldn't add my fragrance oil in until everything has already been heated up and melted down, but I am going to go ahead and add it into this formula in the Phase B beaker in this case because we want everything to be warm when we combine the two phases so that the Pearlizer in here doesn't start to set up too quickly and cause chunks in your formula. So you want everything to be melted down and roughly the same temperature. So we are going to be adding our fragrance oil to this, but I'm going to show you how the method by which I'm going to be melting this down as well. So we're going to be adding in some of our fragrance. Today I'm using Wintry Candy Apple by Nature's Garden. It's a beautiful festive fragrance. Ooh, it smells so good. You could use it in the fall and winter both. It's a very popular fragrance as well, so it'd be great for a body wash. So we're going to be using a little bit of Wintry Candy Apple. It's a Bath & Body Works dupe, I think. Okay. And then the next thing we're going to be adding to this beaker is some Polysorbate 80, and we're using this for its emulsifying properties and solubilizing properties. Because we're going to be combining oils and water, you do need something to emulsify your product and keep it homogeneous. Otherwise the oils and water and surfactants, they're going to separate out. So the Pearlizer does not act as an emulsifier here. It thickens and kind of gives you that beautiful skin conditioning, but it can also help when you add an emulsifier. Those two things work in tandem really well, but you can't use this alone as an emulsifier. So we do have to add in Polysorbate 80. You guys have seen in another video where I used a sunflower solubilizer that's a natural solubilizer. You could use the sunflower solubilizer here as well, but just know that after a few weeks, your formula kind of will start to separate. It's not a big deal. You just have to shake it back up because it does stay mostly homogeneous. You have to shake it back up to combine it. But the Polysorbate 80 keeps it combined indefinitely. So I prefer it. Okay, so with the Polysorbate 80, you want to make sure that you mix your oils with it until it's fully solubilized. So you just give this a good stir. Make sure your fragrance oil and the jojoba oil are well combined and solubilized. But we also are going to be applying some heat to this, like I said earlier, so we're going to be giving it some more time to combine and stir. So I'm going to go ahead and set this one off to the side and then bring it back for the next step. All right, so what I have here is kind of like a little roasting pan. It's got higher edges. I've just filled it with water and turned it on. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my surfactant and water ingredient beaker, phase A beaker, in here and allow the water to warm up and dissolve down that solid SMLI. I'm not gonna be adding this beaker until this is all the way melted down and warmed up, because this is going to melt down much quicker than this one. This is going to heat up, this one will heat up much quicker than this one. So if they're both on at the same time, this one can get too hot. And remember, we have the fragrance oil in here. We also have some jojoba oil, and we just want to make sure we're not overheating this one. So I'm going to wait until this one is all the way melted down, and then maybe move it off to the side, and then I'm going to be adding this one in, and we'll be melting it gently and then removing it as soon as it's done. So I will allow this to melt. I'll bring you back for some little updates as we go along. All right, just to kind of give you a visual of what's going on here. So the SMLI flakes are, SLMI flakes are dissolving down. Of course, it's taking a little bit of time and heat, but they are getting there. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like to this point. And we're just allowing it to simmer. It's around 100 degrees. Again, you want to go ahead and do this slow as well, because this does include the liquid silk, the Aquaxyl, and the Lamesoft. You just want to make sure you melt everything down slowly, dissolve it down slowly, because we just want to keep the properties intact. I'll bring you back when everything is all dissolved. All right, so all of that solid surfactant has finally dissolved, and we are ready for the next step. If you didn't want to sit and wait over the heated water bath to melt down or dissolve down that solid surfactant, you could combine your surfactants the night before. Just cover it, let it sit, and warm all your surfactants up to match the temperature of the second beaker. If you would like, just come back to it the next day. I'll go ahead and write those instructions down in the tutorial as well. All right, so next up, we're just gonna go ahead and remove beaker A from the heat, and we're gonna put beaker B into the hot water bath. And we're just gonna allow this Pearlizer to melt and combine with the oils that are already in this beaker. So we're going to allow that to go ahead and hang out, and I'll bring you back for the next step. All right, we are all the way melted down now. It's time to go ahead and remove this one from the heat. And I'm going to go ahead and place it on this towel, move this out of the way, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so now it's time to just go ahead and combine phase A beaker with phase B beaker. I did this backwards. I should have put the stearic or the Pearlizer and the oil ingredients in the bigger one, but that's okay. We're just going to go ahead and pour this into combine. Now, back when I was first learning how to formulate creamy body washes, I shared a few with you that are good, and they're over on my Patreon campaign, but I really wish I would have known back then more about using Polysorbate 80 in this type of formula. They stay super stable. They don't come apart once everything is all emulsified. As you can see, there it goes. I mentioned earlier regarding the sunflower solubilizer and the other body wash video that I showed you how to use the sunflower solubilizer and the Polysorbate 80. And again, the solubilizer, the sunflower one, works good, but it doesn't stay stable for the long term, it does eventually start to kind of separate out, whereas the Polysorbate 80 formulas, to me, they just stay emulsified and creamy. So this is what this looks like now. As you can see, it is emulsified. That's why it's got an opaque look to it now, because the oils and waters have combined. And we're just going to allow this to set up to room temperature and before adding any color, because I want you guys to see what this looks like when the Pearlizer is at room temperature. The Pearlizer really gives us a nice finish. So right now it's warm and it's looking opaque, but it'll look a lot more opaque when it reaches room temperature. So I'll bring you back when this is all cooled down. All right, so the formula has reached room temperature in my house. That's right around 75 degrees. And as you can see, it's just taken on this really nice milky, lotion-like, opaque white appearance. And that is largely in part due to the Pearlizer. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and add in some preservative. Today we're using liquid Germall Plus, and that is because it works great with formulas that have a lot of water content. So we're going to go ahead and add in our preservative. There we go. Get that nice and mixed in. And then I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit of color here, just a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and thicken this to a nice body wash consistency. Okay. So I'm going to be using a little bit of this liquid red De Balm colorant. This is also from Nature's Garden. And I don't want to overdo it, so I think I'm just going to start with one. I'm just looking for a tiny, tiny bit of pink. I don't want it to look like Pepto-Bismol. I really hope I don't get that effect. So I'm just going to take not a Q-tip, I'm just going to take a little toothpick, put the end of it in, and see what I get. Okay, I think we can go one drop. See how that goes. I'm just kind of going for a very light pink, nothing crazy. Sometimes with these opaque looking shower gels, if you put too much color in, they just look kind of odd. One more drop here and see what we get. There, that's really, really beautiful. Just a nice kind of blush pink color. I think I'm going to go ahead and add just one more drop. There we go. Isn't that just gorgeous looking? Okay, now we're going to go ahead and thicken this up. And I'm going to be using Glucose D to thicken it up, and I'll be right back. All right, so Glucose D, I got this from Making Cosmetics. You just add in a little bit and you thicken it to your desired consistency. So you add in a little bit at a time until you get your desired consistency. It is important that this is warm before adding it in, because this is very viscous and it doesn't incorporate well unless it's warm. So you want to make sure it sits in a hot water bath for a few minutes before incorporating. And with this particular formula, a little bit goes a long way. So just start out with the tiniest bit. See how that goes, because you can't really thin it out if it gets too thick. If it gets too thick, you've kind of ruined your batch, unfortunately. So just go very slow on this step, adding scant amounts at a time. Now the Pearlizer, the Brambleberry Pearlizer that we used in here to get this nice opaque looking color and the beautiful kind of pearlescent look, it does add a tiny bit of thickness, but at the maximum usage rate for this type of formula, it doesn't thicken it up as much as I like. So just so you know, it can thicken up your formulas. Okay. All right, I'll bring you back when this is nice and thick. All right, we've gotten it up to a great body wash consistency. I'll go ahead and show you the viscosity. Just a gorgeous, creamy looking, decadent body wash. So we're gonna go ahead now and just pour this into our containers. And then I'll give you a little bit of a use demo so you can see how this works. So I'm just pouring this into these PET containers. These are Boston Round. They're 8 ounce, but they hold about 10 fluid ounces. I'm pleased with that color. I'm hoping the cameras are picking it up. Okay. And there you go. Just gorgeous looking. So I'll be right back to show you how these work. All right, so I'm just going to scrape the leftovers from this beaker onto my loofah here. Show you. I'm hoping you can pick up the kind of pearlescent look that it has. I know sometimes the cameras don't pick up everything perfectly, but anyway, you add a little bit of water to activate the lather, and there you go. Has a really beautiful creamy lather. Now this isn't going to be like a traditional shower gel where you get a ton of lather, because we do have the addition of that oil. So this is more of just a luxurious, decadent feeling, very silky skin feel, low and dense lather. Just absolutely gorgeous. Has such a really nice skin feel to it. See those dense and low bubbles? So beautiful. And I can kind of show you too what it looks like just in my hand without a loofah. Of course, the loofah does help to enhance the lather some. I'm just going to work it up a little bit. Just get a nice and low foaming, gentle lather. The spreadability is perfect. Just want to make sure you don't overthink it. And there you go. Just very, very beautiful, gentle cleanser. And there you go, everybody. That's how you make a beautiful, creamy, luxurious body wash, holiday themed. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Please remember to leave me comments and questions below. That really means a lot to me. Share this video with a friend, and why not subscribe to my channel? All right, everybody, catch you on the next video. Bye. Keep shining.